Hello, it's Clark
and Emily
on Sailing Vessel Temptress.
And today is March 10th, 2018. So far we have traveled 476 miles. We are currently in Bimini in the Bahamas. And since our last video, we have traveled from Key West in Florida to Newfound Bay. We were there for about 2 weeks, waiting out some really strong east winds. Then we went over to Channel 5, hopped over to Rodriguez Island, and then we crossed.
We had a really great crossing. We sailed most of the way and sailed at pretty good speed. Never really dropped below 5 knots until we did. And I think we had to motor sail for about 5 hours. It was very pleasant. It wasn't rough or anything. We crossed over to Gun Key, usually where I land. Spent one night there and then came right up here to Bimini and checked in and got all legal here. Bimini is a nice protected place when the weather is tough.
Yeah, we've enjoyed it here. We've been here about a week now. So we're in Bahamas finally. We left America last week. So our budget for the month, we've been trying to stay under $1,000 a month in our expenses for this entire trip. For February, we only spent $506. Most of that was on food and fuel and a little tiny bit on internet. And then for March, which started a little over a week ago, so far we spent about $300 checking into the country, and then between $50 and $100 on food. So it'll probably be a pretty inexpensive month again. And we won't have much opportunity to spend any money after we leave Bimini until we get to Georgetown, because it's just simply it's remote. There's no retail, there's no groceries. So except for stocking up on BTC cards for our cell phones so that we have internet and wireless, we shouldn't have any expenses at all.
We've done some projects because we're still getting things settled in, but the boat's in really good shape now. I was very unhappy with the battens and the mainsail. I had purchased some new battens and they were very anemic, very undersized. They broke, and when they didn't break, they just weren't stiff enough. The sail wasn't shaped right. So I've taken some old battens I had and taped them together. I've taken some wooden dowels I had to hold other things together, and I've made battens. And the sail shape is as good as it has ever been. I'm pretty happy with the mainsail. Worked on the dinghy engine some more. It runs great now. Starts first pull. It's very reliable. The last problem after getting everything cleaned up was a tiny little air leak past the carburetor. And if you're an engine guy, you'll know that that makes it very hard to make it idle. Anyway, it's running great now. I had a big project this week. I put a new diesel engine in Temptress like 8 or 10 years ago. I would align the engine and everything would be fine, and the engine would slip out of alignment. And this kept happening, and it's happened again. So yesterday I hoisted the engine up off its engine beds. I hung upside down for literally hours with various grinding and drilling tools like a Dremel and such. And I made a little slot where the engine mount hooks to the boat so that I can adjust it a little better without torquing the rubber. Put it all back together, got it aligned, and it seems great. And it just wants to stay in alignment. I think it's going to be just fine, but we'll find out. And then the last project was this weekend, or this week. We met some people here we quite like, and they had problems with their motor, so I helped fix his motor and got his motor running well. And that's kind of a good sign. When I'm helping other people with their boats, it kind of implies that I'm not overwhelmed with mine, so that makes me pretty happy.
And other than projects, we've been up to playing a lot of music the past week.
I actually got my guitar out.
He got his guitar out, so we're playing music together now. And we've met a few different people, so we've had dinner on other people's boats and invited them over for dinner on our boats. And actually there's about 5 boats in this anchorage right now, and earlier this week we all took our dinghies out and tied them together and had a picnic on the water in our dinghies, so that was kind of fun as well. And just getting the cell phone figured out and how to update and get more minutes and things like that. It's not too terribly hard.
No, it works really well. We kept our American Republic cell phones. We kind of dialed them down to the cheapest possible plan, which for all purposes is just for Wi-Fi connection. Then we got a Bahamas phone. We actually bought one in the States that's an international phone and put a card in it. Worked right up well. We just have that plugged into the boat. We kind of ignore it, and we use our phones like we always have. You could call us on our regular phone number, and it rings through, and it works great. And I'd highly recommend that to anyone coming here. You don't have to change things. You get to use the apps you're used to and your phone you're used to, and it's very inexpensive. In fact, the data costs half as much here than it costs for Republic, which is one of the cheaper plans. So we're pretty happy.
Yep, that's working out really well. What else? We made some pretty good friends here, Steve and Ashley from their dog Bella on Bella Vista. They just left today, but we'll catch up with them down the road, down the water.
Emily got her puppy petting fix.
Yes, so we got to hang out with them and their dog for a little while. Yeah, what's the worst and best part of the last month?
Oh, jeez. Let's see. I have it written on a list because life's pretty good. It's hard to remember the bad bits. The weather, again, it's pretty rough, but we have a very good place here to wait, and we're going to get some really good weather next week to continue to move east in. We're all comfortable here when it does blow strong, but the downside is right across the bay from us.
It's spring break this week, so we only got mooned once, but they are up partying till all hours of the night. On Monday, they were up till 3:30 in the morning with their very loud music, so we had to use earplugs. It's calmed down as the week's gone on. I think they got their partying out of them, but there's spring breakers everywhere, and so it's not as peaceful and as quiet as we hoped it would be. But, you know, it is what it is. Good things?
Well, we're checked into the Bahamas.
That's good.
We've made our crossing of the Gulf Stream, which is the only really dangerous thing. We could have bad weather that could be uncomfortable, but the Gulf Stream could be, well, very uncomfortable. It can't actually be life-threatening on a boat our size. But we might have to turn back, where now we don't really have to worry about that. So generally being here is a good thing.
And we have data, and we have an engine that works, and we have plenty of food. We've only bought, you know, a few lemons and tomatoes and some eggs and milk. Everything else we had packed, you know, before we left, so that's been good. Life is...
We have eaten the refrigerator down, so now we can close the lid.
Yes, we can close the lid now, which is good, which is very good. Oh, and the animals we should talk about.
The animals?
You were just talking, and there was a big shark that jumped out of the water.
Oh, right,
so right. Think about the
every place. Emily has the greatest luck with animals. I've been sailing a long time, and like I've seen one scrawled filefish, which is actually amazing to see. And she just sees animals like that all the time. Yeah. So every place we stopped along the way, we were greeted by. Why don't you give them the list?
Some sort of animal, yeah. In let's see, at Rodriguez. Well, here there was like a 6-foot manta ray that we were motoring in to check in, and it jumped out of the water like 6 or 8 feet in the air and splashed. And then at Rodriguez, it was a turtle. What else did we see?
Channel 5 was something. I don't remember.
Channel 5.
But we had the iguana come up on
Oh,
our boat.
yeah.
There's a video on that. So
we had a lizard visit us on our boat. We just had, it's like within 24 hours of getting to a new place, there's some sort of animal experience that happens, which is kind of cool.
Oh, another good thing for technical is I added some solar panels to the boat, and I left the old ones on and put them in a kind of a precarious place. If they get knocked off, you know, I was just going to put them in a shed and probably store them forever and never use them again anyway. Well, since I have the old ones and the new ones, and they're all hooked up and they're all in regulators, we have so much power. It's just... we just don't even have to worry about power. I've never had that while cruising. I've always had to be cautious and turn off a light when I'm not using it and think about making water. And now we got lots, Computer's on right now. We're just wasting power. And it's not even a sunny day.
Yeah. So we're pretty comfortable. Everything's working. We've got lots of power. We've got lots of food. Life is pretty good. And as we go down through the Exumas, the water will get bluer, and then we'll be able to start swimming and... do more outdoorsy things when the weather gets better. But just wanted to update everybody. We're doing great out here on the boat, and looking forward to talking to you all.
Thanks for watching our videos.
Thanks for watching our videos. Check out our website, svtemptress.com, and follow us on social media at Emily and Clark's Tiny Adventure. Till next time, see ya.